Happy Thursday and welcome back to our series on using Google Sheets. Today I'm going to be talking about adding charts and charting your data. So I have some data here, pretty much the standard data that I think all of us could probably gather very easily. The grades, the averages, the medians by class. And I have videos showing how to do all of these things. So now that I have the data, what am I going to do with it? Well, one thing I can definitely do is visually represent how the average of time changes. So I'm going to go to Insert, and I'm going to go to Charts. And I selected that data first so that the chart would be based off that data. If I don't select that, I get a blank chart. Okay, so it automatically used the data, and because I have it labeled up here, it can even pull the labels. So looking at this chart, this seems pretty telling. It tells me that a lot more students finish more quickly when they do it in Google Classroom versus doing it in Apex. And doing the semester seems to be shorter, but not half the length. So that's very telling too. In fact, the semester is only maybe like on average like 15 days less. I'm just guessing. So instead of guessing, let's do some chart style things to make it so I'm not guessing on this. So one thing I do really like to put the label lines on there. Okay. Oh, right now I'm only selected on that one. I want to actually click off and then click on the whole chart. And I'm going to format the series, apply to all in the series. Okay. And I'm just going to make it so the data comes up, right? So again, I can get to that by right-clicking this edit bar to customize because I made it go away. I can also do all sorts of things. I can go ahead and change the style. I can make it any color I want. You can add titles, and you can add, so we have average down here, right? So I might want to add a horizontal line axis, no, a vertical line axis. And that's going to be days in class, right? So now I can label that. All of those settings are in there in that menu that you can click on. I keep clicking off of it and then it goes away. I'm going to go back to edit chart. I can change the type. It's stacking none. Usually I don't mess with these things. I can switch rows and columns. So instead of having that number be, yeah, I'm switching them. Okay. This might be more useful though, so that the days in class and those are down there. I don't know. I sort of like it with the colors. But anyway, use row 1 as headers. So that is something that we do want to do. Use row J as labels. Yes. Well, no, because I didn't actually do that the right way. Okay, and then I can customize some things, right? So I can change some colors, I can change the titles, I can go to this series and apply things to all in this series, or I can go in and change these individual ones. So, I want I want Apex to be blue because that is the color that they use for Apex, right? So then to make it clear, I'm going to go back and change this one to green. And now it looks kind of pukey because I don't like the way those colors look together. So one thing that I can advise on a color standpoint is if you choose from the same row every time you choose a color, it's going to look better together than if you go from different rows. That's just how the colors are coordinated. So these are like the same level of color. So they're all going to look decent together. Although I did just make this chart look very, very bright. I am going to keep Google as an orangey color, okay? So there we have the comparison. We have the data labels. Of course, I can change all of that. I have no errors, so I don't need to have an error bar. I have an auto legend that's up here. I can make it none, okay? which I think I need a legend, so I can make it inside. I could make it left, right, move it all around, right? However you want it to look. There's a lot of things you can change. Guidelines and ticks. So I was kind of confused about the difference between this number and this number. So I think I want to make my steps be 10 so that I can see those numbers more easily. So now I know there's 10 between this, and then there's 4, so that's 17 from the average for Google Classroom versus, or the average for Apex versus the half semester course of Apex. So this is just some basic chart editing. I'm going to come back and talk about some other charts that we can do later on. I hope this is helpful to you on this Tech Tip Thursday.